Hi, all. This is Miss Martin, the college advisor at Shawnee Mission Northwest. And today I have a presentation for you all on understanding your ACT score report and a studying resource I would love to share with you all. So hopefully you already have or will soon be receiving an email from ACT with your student score report. And I'm going to kind of walk you through what it will look like and go over some of the lingo that you might see so that you are fully aware of what all that means. So we will just dive on in. And to start off, this is not a Northwest student's ACT score report. This is an example that I found on the ACT website that they were able to provide there. So to start off, in this top left-hand corner, you will see a number and the word composite. So if you have heard maybe from friends or family that have said, yeah, I got 21 on the ACT, this is what that means. That 21 composite number just means that it is the median number of all of these categories of the ACT. So when you took the ACT test, you had a math, science, English, and reading section that you took, and that 21 is that middle number of the scores that you got for each of those categories. So in this top graph, you will see this green and blue kind of shaded parts on the bar graph. So that more bold line is indicating the number that this student got on that section. The shaded areas surrounding that bold bar are indicating that if this student took the ACT test again, they could expect to fall anywhere in that range. So obviously there's good and bad days for taking the ACT, and if you studied or you didn't study, that shaded area is telling of, sharing of that flexibility. So again, in this left column, we see that this student got a 21 on their ACT. To the right is our math column. So out of all of the math questions, this student got a 19. And you can see that they ranked right here on the graph. You will also see these purple college readiness benchmarks next to where the student scored. So the student got a 19, and the ACT is saying that to be college ready in math, they would like to see a 22. This purple benchmark is not telling of a student's success in college. It is merely a suggestion, and based on their information that that is what they're looking for college readiness in these sections. So next is the science section, which I'm told a lot is the most difficult part of the ACT test, which I definitely understand. This student got an 18. And again, according to ACT, that college readiness benchmark is about a 23, which I definitely understand. Moving over to the right, we see a section titled STEM. If you've heard this lingo, you can see right here below the graph, it stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. So if you are interested in any careers that fall under that, like engineering, ACT is suggesting they're looking for about a 26 as kind of a median number for that math and science section. So this student fell a little bit below that, but again, keep your options open. That's totally fine. We're just walking through kind of what this graph means. So again, moving to the right, we're in our English section now. This student got a 24, which is far above that college readiness mark according to the ACT, which is awesome. Next to that, in their reading section, this student got a 23, again, falling above that college readiness benchmark, which is great. In that next section is the writing section. You may have seen that when you signed up for your ACT test. The writing portion is not a requirement for colleges and schools in Kansas. If you're interested in a school on either of the coasts, I'd encourage you to check that school's website to see if the writing section is a requirement to get into that school. But for us, it is not, so you should be good to go on that section. And our very last column is that English and language arts kind of total. So from English and reading, this student got a 24 out of those categories. Again, a whole 4 numbers above that college readiness benchmark according to ACT. So just from merely looking at this graph, it looks like this student's natural strengths kind of lie in the English and reading sections, as opposed to some of those STEM careers moving forward. So below this graph, we see 2 more, one that's titled US rank and one that's titled state rank. That US rank is again comparing this student's ACT score report compared to other students that took it across the United States, and then in the other graph across the state of Kansas. So we see that at that composite rate of 21, this student is ranked just above that halfway mark, doing just as well, if not better, than other students that have taken the ACT test. Same thing for this state rank. This student is at 58% with their composite score, doing just as well, if not better, than other students across Kansas. So below that, you can see in the blue and green columns how this student did in the subcategories of the ACT. Moving right along, if you scroll down on that ACT score report, you should see this section titled Detailed Results. So we know that this student got a 19 on the math section of their ACT, and these sections under it are the descriptions or examples of the math questions that that student saw on the test. So out of the 35 questions in the math section, this student got 22 of them correct. So as we read this graph, we see that there's this purple kind of bar that is titled ACT Readiness Range. So according to ACT, they're scaling kind of, again, that college readiness check mark. You would get a purple check mark to the side here if the ACT feels that you are college ready out of those questions. So let's dig deeper into a math example. So we see that under preparing for higher math, this subcategory of number and quantity, this student got 5 out of 5 of them correct. So they got 100% of those types of math questions correct, which is great. If we skip a few more down to the statistics and probability subsection, we see that this student got 2 out of 6 correct. So about 33%, falling just shy of that college readiness benchmark according to ACT. So if this was my ACT score report, I would see that, okay, yes, I need to do some more studying on my statistics and probability questions. And I, in just a minute, will show you a really good studying resource that matches to these specific questions. So for the rest, you see with science, English, and reading, we also have the same kind of bar graph showing us how well we did. And then at the end here, it says understanding complex texts. So ACT is seeing how this student did in understanding complex texts, and if they are ready for that college readiness level. And they said that this student is proficient in that. So they got the green light and did well, which is great. So we are now going to shift gears to an ACT free studying resource that I really like. So we will just back out and go to Google and type academy.act.org. You'll hit enter and select I am the student. And my internet is doing its best. So as you can see under the student section, I've already created an example account before, but so if you have that too, great, just use your login to sign back in. If not, you would scroll down to see, did your teacher give you a username and password? We would select no. You would create a username or use your email, create a password. And pro tip, this is a good time to write down your username and password in the notes section of your phone or on a sticky note that you'll keep somewhere safe. But make sure you write it down somewhere where you will be able to find it later so you can continue studying for the ACT. And then class code, we don't have one, so you would just select I'm here to practice for the ACT and hit next step. tell us about yourself. You can enter this information or you don't have to, and you can just hit skip. And then I've pre-selected this before for ACT prep, so I would select that if I were you and hit start learning. And here you will see the categories of the ACT that you just read about in your score report. So we see math, science, English, and reading. And if you remember the section that we just kind of looked at in detail, we know that there were some math questions we wanted to study more about. So you can hit explore math. And remember that statistics and probability was that subsection that we wanted to spend some more time on. So you can take the quiz right away to see what kind of questions you might be seeing in this subcategory, or you can select to get resources. And again, here are more of those subsections, but we wanted more practice in statistics and probability. So you will find a wide variety of videos that you can watch and practice with as you study for the ACT. And obviously there are a ton of other subsections that you can look at. I mentioned earlier that I know science is kind of a tricky section for a lot of students, but look at all these videos. You can watch any and all of these. If you know there are specific subjects that you struggle with, you can definitely check that out. And obviously it's for all 4 subjects, and there are a ton of subsections under each one, which is great. So this is a great free resource if you are hoping to study for the ACT and specifically look at the sections that you know you could use some improvement on. So that's a great free resource. If you have troubles signing up for it or can't find it, please let me know. I would love to help. Again, during this time, I know your virtual learning is kind of an interesting time, but I'm here to serve as a resource for you all. So if you have any questions, check your email. I sent you all ways that you can contact me during this time. So you're welcome to look at that email, reach out with any questions. I would love to help. So yeah, feel free, don't be shy. I hope you all are doing well, but thanks for your time and have a good rest of your day. Bye.